Okay, let's get back to Pong. So we just finished up step 3, where we have our, we taught microworlds the word bounce. So now our paddle in our rules tab under on touching, we can just say bounce. So now, because we have that new word now in the vocabulary. So any procedure that you define in this procedure tab becomes part of the vocabulary, just like any of these words in the microworlds vocabulary. Okay. So just like you have vocabulary and definitions for these primitive vocabularies, this is like you're making your own definitions page right here. Okay, so you're writing your definitions, and then when you want to use any of these, when you want to use bounce, you can put it in place, like you can put it in your on touching instruction field, or any of these, on click, or you could type it in your command. Let's say bounce, and that would change the heading. So in fact, if this was going like this, and I just tell it bounce and bounce again, it'll do like that. Okay, and then we noticed that bounce doesn't work for bouncing off of the. It works for bouncing off the paddle if we're bouncing sideways, but not off the top, because we saw that. Set H to -0 just leaves us at 0. Right? And in fact, if we say set heading to -180, if our heading is 180, right, and we say set heading to -180, well, -180 is still 180, right? Because it's 0, and then you're going minus. It's like starting at 0 and going left 180. So if you go 180 this way, or 180 in the negative direction, you're still going to end up at 180. So our bounce, this bounce really just works for going off of the sides. All right. So let's go on to step 4. Go to the table of contents. Step 4, bounce on the left wall. Let's see how we're going to do that. There needs to be a way to keep the ball within the screen area, right? Because otherwise, like if you miss it, it's just going to go off the screen. And that's not really the action that we want, right? We don't want it wrapping around like that. Okay. Using the painting tools, create a wall on the left side of the screen and a wall on the right. Make sure the walls extend to the top and bottom of the screen and are different colors. For example, green on the left and red on the right. So this is going to be important later. And basically, the idea is we're going to want different behaviors depending on if the ball hits this wall or it hits this wall. If it hits this wall, that means it got by you, right? So you should, maybe lose points or only score points if you. It should bounce off of this wall, and then maybe you should lose points or something if it hits this wall. So if we want different behaviors, that's why we're setting it up with different colors. It says make the walls thick, not just a thin line, and draw them with the filled rectangle tool instead of the pencil. So we want a solid color because we're going to have the balls reacting to the color. So let's see. So let's get the drawing tool here and pick a solid color, and we can make these colors whatever we want. let's see, what do I got? How about a nice blue for this side? And you can pick, don't forget to pick the solid fill rectangle tool. Did I pick it or did I unpick it? Okay, now it looks like it's selected. I'm going to do that. And for the other side, how about this color? And that. Okay, so nice and thick and all solid color. Don't use a pattern because, like I said, we want to react to a color, and you want the patterns are made up of a bunch of different colors. You want a solid color. Okay, so what do you want to happen when the ball hits the left wall? So that's what we're working on right now, bouncing off the left wall. Your bounce procedure would be the right thing to do again, right? So now you have a bounce procedure. So all of these words that you see in the vocabulary, these are all procedures, okay? But these are the ones that come with microworlds, so they call these primitive procedures. Any of the procedures that you write here in the procedures tab are also procedures. Like we said, you can use them just like you would use any word in the microworlds vocabulary once you've written its definition in here. So we can use our bounce procedure to bounce off of this wall. It says open the ball turtle's backpack. So that's this guy, right? And click on the rules tab. Okay, so we're on the rules tab. So remember, there's state, procedures, shapes, notes, audio, rules. Okay, so on the rules tab, says look at the pull down menu just beneath the word on color. Oh, look at that. Choose the color that you want to draw the left wall in. So my left wall looks like it's this magenta, right? I think that's the color. Type bounce in the instruction line for that color. So the instruction line, this is the instruction line for on click. The instruction field for on color is right here. We'll just type bounce. So on touching we bounce, and if we hit this color we bounce. So let's see if I picked the right color. Oh, let's bounce so we go the other direction. Boink. Oh, it worked. Okay. So, I don't know if I did that too fast, but remember I have bounce in the command center, so I can always call bounce from down here too. I'm using this bounce, and I'm just hitting enter when I'm on that line, and it bounces back and forth. Or I can use my paddle. Let me see. Boink. Okay. Alright, so this is getting interesting, kind of fun. Again, click on the ball and the paddle and try bouncing. Okay, we did that. If it doesn't work, check the color again. Right, because if you picked green, there are two colors that are kind of close to green. So if I had picked, violet, then this wouldn't work. But hey, there. It just keeps going. Oh, it did work. So I guess if there's colors close enough. And this is interesting. It looks like now it's working for me. Yeah, so I guess there are some colors that are close together. Or if I had picked pink, would that work? Yeah. So I guess that one works for a range of colors, but it could be, you know, if you did a green and a lime, it might not work. But anyway, so experiment around. If you picked a color close and it didn't work, then try picking another color similar to that one and see if that does it. Okay, so we did the left wall, so the next thing to do is going to be the right wall in the next lesson.